the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. On the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. This is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Y'all punch that like button on your way in the building. As always, make sure you let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We are live. Here we are Monday, and this is the second off season. This is what I call the second off season, ladies and gentlemen. This is when you have to wait on that first kickoff. That dreadful first kickoff. I love it. Well, I don't love it because I'm gonna be waiting for football. But I will say this: the team will be made tomorrow at 4 p.m. We already got some news on some cuts and stuff. Let me straighten my camera out. We already got some news on some cuts and stuff and everything going on. But we got breaking news. Mike McDaniel discloses who's starting on the PUP. And we got to talk about OBJ because I ain't trying to hear it. I ain't trying to hear it. I'll break all that down and more right here on TD Fans Talk. Before we do, we just want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Let your friends and family members know about it. If they're looking for a sports book, BetUS is the place to be. All right, let's hear a quick word from our sponsor. Thank y'all. Oh, there we go.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS. my online sportsbook and casino.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, BetUS online sportsbook and casino. As you can see here, we have it up on the screen. Week 1 is already available for you. If you're looking for a sports book, if you enjoy playing sports books, I'm going to point you to the Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs game. You know, this game is a lot to me because I'm going to be honest with y'all. I know our favorite team is the Miami Dolphins, but y'all got to give it up to the NFL. What better way to open the season than Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs? Like, I ain't going to lie. That is going to be a lit Thursday night to start football. You know, we're talking about the Super Bowl winners and this is the AFC Championship rematch. The AFC Championship rematch, you already know Baltimore is like, we got to get over this hump week 1. We got to know week 1. Derrick Henry, let's go week 1. And this is going to be real interesting. I'm going to tell you now, I actually believe the Baltimore Ravens are going to win this game. And the Chiefs don't usually start out the gate like crazy good, you know, so I would actually go with Baltimore in this. I know on BetUS, you put 100 on it, you win 120, which is pretty dope. And listen, you could also use parlays as well. You don't just have to go with the straight up win. The over under is interesting too, but this could be a defensive battle. This could be a nasty defensive battle. This is going to be a very interesting game. But what I appreciate most is that the NFL gave us a nice game to watch. So if you're looking for a sports book, make sure you go to BetUS, place your wagers there. All right. All right. So let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. Oh boy, we got a lot to talk about. Look for the Miami Dolphins to make some moves, okay? Look for the Miami Dolphins to make some moves coming up. All right. But I could see them making a trade or picking up a free agent or two. I'm gonna call 2 moves for the 53-man roster. I think they'll make 2 moves. Guys that are not in the building right now will be acquired for the 53. It's just me throwing that out there, making a guess. All right. Let me see. Somebody called TD. The message screen is black. Oh, I'm not sure why. Well, no, I watch all my streams while I'm doing it, and the message chat is perfectly fine. So you're having an issue on your end, by the way. All right. But I do think that we're going to make some moves. Mike McDaniel had his press conference, and he disclosed that Isaiah Wynn, right guard, Bradley Chubb, outside linebacker, and Cameron Good, linebacker or defensive end, will not be starting the season on the active roster. They will be on the PUP. We won't get them back for 4 weeks. Automatic. Season starts. And that's not a big surprise. It's not the biggest surprise. Now, what I will say is Isaiah Wynn's situation, the quad, I thought we'd have him back, but obviously not. Obviously not. Bradley Chubb, we all knew this. I told y'all it was a deadline, and Phillips hit that deadline. Right when I told y'all. I said, if he ain't practicing Monday, it ain't happening. And right that Monday, Jalen Phillips back. So look for Jalen Phillips to be ready week 1. Maybe even week 2. See, that's something we're not talking about either. We're not 100% sure Jalen Phillips is going to play week 1. I think he may, but don't be surprised if they decide to make him inactive in week 1. Okay. They asked about OBJ. Now let's break this down. They did ask about OBJ. Mike McDaniel said to be determined. People are already out here saying, oh, OBJ wasn't mentioned on PUP, so he'll be ready week 1. No. I don't know about that. Mike McDaniel also went on to say, because Omar Kelly asked him the question and asked, is OBJ the type of guy, like, because Tua spoke about not having thrown a pass to him or anything like that? Is he the type of guy you just throw in, and what would be his role? And McDaniel made it clear. No, it's a case where he definitely wouldn't just be thrown in and like given it like expectations to do anything. He would have practiced enough in everything before he's put in. He would have had some reps, some practice, and, you know, perfectly fine. He's feeling good. And I'm going to tell you like this. We could very well see OBJ week 1. But what he left the door open for is, I don't think OBJ playing week 1. I don't even know if he'll play week 2. I think we're still in this stage where OBJ's rehabbing and they check in every week and he gives them where he is. And we just keep saying, all right, next week. Hey, I'm closer, but not quite there. All right, next week. So if we get a report that he practicing this week, okay, that's a different story. But if he ain't practicing this week and he's still, you know what I mean? No. I don't think all of a sudden the following week he's thrusted in, game plans given, and he's working in, all right, I'm ready for week 1. I'm not sure about that. This could easily be a situation where it's strung along week after week after week after week. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope week 1, oh man, OBJ active, let's go. But I'm just not feeling it. And also on top of that, there's a good chance that I think he still might be put on PUP. I think over the next week and a half, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get an alert saying OBJ placed on PUP. He will not be active until after week 4. Because they'll want to use the roster spot. I still feel like that's a possibility of happening, him being placed on PUP, because here's the deal. If you ain't practiced by Thursday of week 1, like going into the first game, place him on PUP. Why? Because yeah, we all know you take, like on a speedy basis, you're going to take 2 weeks, and that ain't right. The speed, especially with his age, you need 4 weeks to rev up in this league. You need to practice for about 4 weeks. First of all, you got to get out there on a limited basis. He's not even there yet. Then on top of getting out there on a limited basis, now you got to start getting your endurance and go full speed. I mean, you need about 2 weeks of limited basis, 2 weeks of full speed. All right, I'm ready. In the fast situations, 1 week of limited, 1 week of full speed. All right, I'm ready. That's the fast, but he's older. You want to monitor him. I think he still might end up on PUP. If he doesn't end up on PUP week 1, then I'm suspecting, and he don't play, I'm suspecting he'll be back by like week 3. But I just can't see it. I think he's going to end up on the PUP. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he's ready. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he's ready. Mike McDaniel also talked about Aaron Brewer. He talked about him potentially being ready week 1, week 2, week 3. We don't know. And then he went on this lecture about, what we don't want to do is put somebody out there and they get worse. That's telling you what you need to know too. If you ain't gearing up yet, then I don't think you're starting week 1. Now, Brewer may have an opportunity to play week 2 or week 3, but if you ain't going this week, then you're probably not playing in week 1. But again, this is just me speculating. Nobody told me anything, just me straight up speculating how I feel about Mike McDaniel's verbiage. These guys could very well play week 1, but I tell you what, if they do, I feel like they're rushing them. If they do, I feel like they'd be rushing them. Did OBJ participate in OTAs? From my understanding, he hasn't really done anything in any. He showed up, but he hasn't really went fully in on anything yet. Will Waddle play week 1? Waddle is fine. Remember last week, McDaniel even said, Waddle, if this was regular season, he'd be a go. Waddle isn't the issue. Waddle isn't the issue at all. Also, Skylar Thompson. Mike McDaniel spoke about Skylar. I like what Mike McDaniel said, and you can see the genuineness and the sincerity. You know, it's funny. It's like there was a time where we got generic answers and half truths to support a quarterback and try to make them look better than they did. When I heard him talk about Skylar today, it was all genuine. He sees a better quarterback today than he did last year. He sees a guy who made improvements. He sees a guy who can get the ball out quicker. He sees a guy who can go through reads quickly. He just sees a better quarterback today in Skylar Thompson. And another thing stuck out to me that went into his decision of Skylar being QB2. He said when Skylar came in the game and responded and lifted the team, he looked at the sideline and guys that you were chilling started getting closer to that white line because they were interested in what they were seeing. They were really engaged with what Skylar was out there doing. And he got a buy-in from the team to make them feel comfortable. And I'm telling you, that goes a long way in the event that you ever need Skylar. Now you might have players that be like, come on, Skylar, I think you can do this. Let's go. And when you got the team behind them too, that's what you want as your backup quarterback. And McDaniel hit it right on the head. Guys were engaged. He lifted the sideline. They were start creeping up to that white line, trying to pay attention to what he was doing because he was doing so well. And he got that buy-in. And I'm telling y'all now, it goes a long way. And Mike McDaniel said what I've been telling y'all all this time. Mike McDaniel said the truth is Skylar ain't had a lot of opportunity. He got thrusted into a playoff game, and Mike McDaniel said it, in which he actually played really well in. Mike McDaniel know what he talking about. Mike McDaniel is the same thing I've been telling y'all. Mike McDaniel know this. Skylar Thompson played well in that Buffalo game. We should have won that playoff game. Our stars didn't show up. Skylar played well in that Buffalo playoff game. And Mike McDaniel called that out. Mike McDaniel literally said it. That he actually played well in that game, made some big plays. And he said he sees a better quarterback today than he did when he came to training camp, than he did last season, than he did last training camp. And he said then after that, he was sat on ice, and that can be a quarterback's worst enemy. That can be a quarterback's worst enemy. And now that's not going to be the case. He's the backup, so he's still not getting tons of reps, but he's out there playing, keeping that rhythm going. So, it's very interesting. Something brewing in Miami, y'all. I just don't think nobody see it yet. Something brewing in Miami. Shout out to the homie Glenn. Glenn just dropped the donation. Appreciate you, brother. He said, I heard that teams do not get to have an emergency QB this season like they did last year. Can you confirm this or not? Based off of my research, Glenn, last year they implemented it, but it never got approved through the CBA. So now everybody's going to adhere that we don't get a third quarterback to just dress for emergency situations because it never got approved. It was something the NFL put in place, waiting on approval, and everybody implemented, but it never got approved. So you technically didn't even need it last year, but everybody had implemented it. So this year, as you can see, It is what it is. Teams will run with 2. Some will still run with 3 because that's how they operate. But some teams now will go back down to 2, depending on if you feel you needed a third one or not. Then you'll try to bring another guy in for scout team, as always. And if he's good enough, you'll have a third quarterback on the roster. That's just how it works. So yeah, that's what's going on with that situation, Glenn. It's Tua and Skyler, and I would think that Miami would be looking for a third. I mean, they have to look for a third quarterback because you need one for scout team, or you need one on the back end of the roster that still runs scout team. So, yeah, I mean, you got to understand in practice, guys don't just stand around when the season starts and it's 11 on 11. They still run the double fields. They still run the reps. They still, it's just that your QB1 will probably, like in training camp, QB1 gets about, 40% of the reps, and QB2 and 3 get like 30 and 30. In regular season, QB1 gets about 60 to 65% of the reps, and QB2 gets about 35. And that's only, hey, let me, back them out a little bit. Just keep running plays. Because you still got the first unit and the second unit, practicing. They're running through as many plays as they possibly can, getting repetition. And in situational ball, you're probably 90% QB1, 10% QB2. So with the install. And that's why you had quarterbacks in the past talk about, I used to not give the backup reps. He'll still get a few, but I used to limit it. I used to be like a 90-10 because that ain't how it normally work. It's about a 65-35, but some quarterbacks stingy with it, and they have a right to. When it's the other one turn, wave them off. I'm going to keep going. And then when you finally want a little break or whatever, you say, all right, going in. They got that control, that QB1, get as many reps as they want at that time. So that's what you're dealing with. But they'll get a third quarterback to go run with the scout team. It's not a 53-man roster, y'all. It's a 60-something man, 70-something man roster because your practice squad is a part of the team. Those are the guys you want the best practice squad you possibly can because those are the guys that challenge you in practice. Those are the guys, see, I want us to have a better practice squad. I want us to have a practice squad that's really physical. But, it's hard to anyway because the back end. I mean, if they were really that good, they would have made a roster. But guys are still fighting, trying to make a team. And they even listen, some guys okay with the practice squad. It pays the bills, and they have a career playing football. And if they can continue to stay sharp and eventually after 2 years on the practice squad, finally make a back end of a roster, that's success. But if they can't, guys don't live on the practice squad but about 2-3 years max. Because you got to rotate that new young talent in and see if you can find what you can find. So it's just interesting. But we know who's going to be starting on the PUP. Other guys, keep an eye on OBJ. Aaron Brewer, will he be a week 1 guy or week 2 or week 3? We got to start our season, but I will tell you this. That interior O-line is an issue. No matter how we slice it, that interior O-line is an issue, ladies and gentlemen. It is. And we're going to go into the season trying to manage it, and we'll see what that turns out to be. We shall see. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Just wanted to drop that one on y'all real quick. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to TD Fans Talk. Let's see. I got Bleacher Report at 1 p.m. predicting the final cuts. And tomorrow at 4 p.m. I have the final roster reaction. So predicting the final cuts will be at 1 p.m. on Bleacher Report. I'll be handling that. Obviously, the huddle today at 3 p.m. will be on that as well. I'm excited about it. Man, oh man, I'm excited about what this 53-man roster is going to look like tomorrow. And then we'll evaluate it from there. That's when the game starts. All right. Again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget this stream is being powered by BetUS. Receive a 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Let your friends and family members know if they're looking for a new sports book. BetUS is the place to go. Link in the description of the video.
Michael Vick here at BetUS.com. Get it all. Huge bonuses, great odds, a race book, live in-game betting, and a casino. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.